Hey, this is Tracy with Stuff and Things. Today is Paper Pumpkin Day. I actually picked this up right before Thanksgiving. It is now Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and I'm finally getting time to work on this. It is an overcast day. It was 65 earlier. I think the high is it might be 68 now. Very cold. I'm wearing a long shirt and long pants and socks, which is unheard of here in Florida. And I guess it's going to be a low of in the late high 40s next week at some point in the week. Brr. Today we're going to work on Warm Wishes. It's not focusing. Interesting. Warm Wishes, November. This is the kit that goes with the October kit. And I have not seen much about it. I see a house on the front. It's a special box. Inside we have yellow tissue. And let's see what we have for stamps. Warm Wishes from our home to yours. Special delivery with love. 'Tis the season. It's a little dog with a scarf holding an envelope, maybe? A door with a wreath. That might be cute on envelopes. And a present. So let's see what we have in here. Oops, and I hate when I tear the tissue. Mossy Meadow is our spot, which I will not be opening. All right, we have some linen thread, tear and tape, full-size dimensionals, a whole bunch of houses. Oh, and I'm thinking those are bags. If I don't get to it, the very first thing comes to mind with these is to tape these with some foam strips and use them for shaker cards. I'm not sure I will be doing that, but that is just what comes to mind. And we have wreath. They're very weird feeling, like they might be stickers. Are they stickers? I still think it might be a sticker. It's a sticker. So see, there's the backing. Okay, so these are 8 wreath stickers. Again, if you don't want to use them on your cards, these would be very nice on envelopes. Now, this does not have envelopes. It has the bags and these houses. So I will, of course, be converting to A2 sized cards for my alternatives. We also have a whole bunch of die cut mini wreaths, probably to fit on these. Oh, look at that. Okay, so these are absolutely a 3D tent house. It's kind of like a purse, I guess. And that can be put on the front of the house. So I will be at a minimum be converting these into they make a minimum of 2 houses, and you get an extra roof because this fold down piece is an extra roof, so I'm not sure we will need the extra roof, but it is there for us. We do have some labels. You get 5 fishtail and 5 round. That is all for the materials. I'm going to do the unthinkable. I'm going to flip over. We always get this very hard chipboard. I save this and use it sparingly. And over the years I've collected quite a bit. And just to show you, if you haven't already opened, this is definitely 3D houses, and here's where you're supposed to wrap some treat in these little bags and put them inside the house. So I will be making a 2 cards, and then here's like some examples of cards. So we'll see what I can come up with. Now I will probably, to make it more interesting, I have last month's kit. I will be using it with this month's kit, as well as any other added supplies that I think will make these into very nice A2 size holiday cards. So I'm going to go away now and get started. I will of course come back for any prep ideas that I have that you can consider. Then I will go away again and come back for mix and matching of backgrounds to focal layers, and then in the very end I will of course have my slideshow. So stay tuned. Hey, I am back, and I'm going to do a couple of quick stampings with the door, go through materials, my added materials. As I had said, I am going to merge the October and November kit together. To refresh your mind, the November kit had smaller house pieces, tree pieces, and this little glossy glitter with wonderful glitter labels. You put your label behind. I had already shared that you could cut the pieces. These cut pieces were from the leftover bits. So all of these should be used. I have added, in addition to last month's kit, I had gone over using craft white because we didn't get any colored card bases to work with. And this month's kit, same thing. We've got the 3D houses, front, back, and bottom. So remember taking the craft white and rubbing it directly on the color. So I wanted to show you the size fit that you get on the houses. So you end up with 2 houses, a blue house and a red house, and they have a front and a back to them. I am looking for, here's a front. So the front, the back of the red, and front and back of the blue. Now they did provide the glitter on the entirety of the front and the back of the 2 houses this month, which will save your glitter glue somewhat. So the blue house is a smaller house. It's not as tall. Width-wise, though, you can only use them, well, the blue house, you can use vertical or horizontal. You will have to put your sentiment probably on the roof of the house somewhere. And the red house is taller, so it, as you can see, really just takes up, this is trimmed down to 4 by 5 1/4, but it is just way too big. So a good use for the red houses, I bought 2 different cards and envelope packs, knowing that I was going to need to make a lot of cards, and that this second phase, so I already had my first phase and sold a bunch of the Christmas and Thanksgiving cards at a fair and then a couple of other people have bought. So I bought the Berry Christmas cards and envelopes, not realizing how large they were. So they are, I believe it's 4¼ by 6¼ and you'll see that the card is a white, the envelopes, you get a blue and a red, and the envelopes are very vanilla. So you have to, as I said, I think I have said on Winter is Coming Wednesdays that I might not, yes, I did actually post the one that I introduced these. And I've used some of the bases. I need to post that on a Winter is Coming Wednesday day. And then I've saved the rest of them for this kit, which with the taller red house, you get a much better fit with more space around because it's so much taller, which allows you to have some background design. I do have a Merry Christmas sitting right here, so I mean you can make it really simple and have the Merry Christmas. Now this is the back of the house, so I wasn't sure what I would do yet, so I'm gonna probably go away. I have a thought. I'm gonna execute on that and probably come back and share with you some of the mixes and matches, hopefully with a good fix for the backs of the houses. The front of the red house though looks perfect on this card base. There's the very small wreaths. I believe the intention, because the back of the two 3D designs have wreaths on the back, and we got a whole bunch of wreaths, this many, 5 times 1, 2, 3, 5 times 7, yeah, 5 times 7, so we got lots of wreaths, and I think you're supposed to take the wreaths and put them all on the front of your house popped up. So don't forget that. I don't know that I would do this to any of my cards. I would be more inclined to use these more sparingly, and I would probably go ahead and put the blue house and the red house don't have a wreath on the door, so I would pop that up, maybe add a little glitter to it, let it dry, maybe put some glitter in dots around the green. So that would be a nice way to use those materials. Now I already, all right, I'm back, hopefully through with coughing. So the trim that I was going to share that I used in last month's kit is the glittered organdy ribbon, which was available last month, but I did not see it, so it must all be sold out. I have been cutting it in half with and then adding in the white baker's twine and some thread from Hobby Lobby to make just these nice long tendrily bows that aren't too overpowering. And so I've got the threads in all different colors, so I'll probably be making more of those nice bows. Another bow, the gold and silver combo trim, 1/8, is very nice if you want something even smaller. This could be made even smaller and goes really nice on the door if you wanted to do that. I will be popping this up. The trick I want to share with you, we did get one small full-size dimensionals, and what I do as a trick, and I haven't actually videoed this for a long time, is with a pair of scissors, I take the hexagon shape and I make these into strips. Hopefully you can see the shape that I am after. So where I trim them is right down the middle of a hexagon, so I get 2 halves. I just find that the full-size hexagons, I learned this so long ago when I was first going to card classes with my, I guess it would be my two up lines. And so I learned to do this so long ago that it is something I do to this day. And I will take an entire sheet of dimensionals and I will cut them all in half. That way I am not tempted to use the whole, and they stretch and go a lot further. So I highly recommend that little tip. We do have the bottoms of all of the houses are these green stripes. So considering where to add these, the opposite sides are blue and tan. And here, you know, you can trim it off more carefully and maybe do, this is a white core, so you definitely could emboss this. We've got some fun embossing folders that I have already shared from last month, and here they are again. You've got the sayings that you could put on, like the tan or the blue, and then go ahead and emboss with sanding paper. I will probably do some of that with those pieces, because looking at the sizes that you have to work with, you're only going to get little extra bits, not even the full width of this, even on these larger cards. So you're mostly working with very small bits and pieces rather than full sheets. So all of these sheets that I have, then there's the snowfall. So this snowfall 3D I have set aside so that I can show you what it looks like when you do the magic of the white, and it's just so easy and it gives it such a nice effect. And even places where it double hits, I'm totally okay with. Any of those looks of giving it a more handmade look, I am all for. So that is a wonderful trick, and then you will definitely be cutting these pieces up. I'm going to go away and do a little more work for the back of the houses. Like I said, I have an idea of making these look a little more, and that's only if you feel like people will think, oh, there's a front door missing. This could just as well be on this card the top part of the house and not showing the whole house. But I do have a treatment I am going to come up with, and I will pop back in here and share it with you. And for pieces, we talked about the wreaths, we talked about the pieces from last month, we talked about trim. I wanted to do some live stamping of this door. I do have real red, mossy meadow, and somewhere it should be Night of Navy, but I think I can go ahead and use these two colors to get the idea across. And I am going to look for something soft to stamp on over here. I've had this up, actually, this particular grid paper up, since I was working on the Thanksgiving cards. So I just left it here. I'm going to pause, go find something to stamp on, and be right back. All right. I snuck a piece of foam under here. Going to grab an envelope. We will start with a real red. Last month's spot, if you haven't opened it yet, is just for reference. It is real red, and this month's spot is Mossy Meadow, which is why I grabbed those two colors. And I do think that the Night of Navy will work well as also. So I would say that that would be a cute way to stamp these two. Now this one's interesting. So this one, which needs Night of Navy. And I have to figure out where Night of Navy is hiding. In the meantime, last month's envelopes, I already said I was going to save and use. They are very beautiful. They coordinate with both month's kits. And I am going to open the Mossy Meadow. And there's how it looks. So I think if you're wondering what to use the door for, I think envelopes. And you can absolutely, if you put a couple of layers in between, like if I just grab, oops, that won't fit. You grab a couple pieces of paper, and you will see why I'm doing this in a moment. And then you grab whatever blends you want. I am going to go ahead and grab Real Red. This is Real Red Dark. And I'm going to just color in this bow. You can make it have some light to dark if you want, but I just want to show you really quickly how good that looks. Then if you really wanted to get fancy, you can say, let's just grab, this is Wild Wheat. And I'm just doing the doorknob. So there you go. Excellent way to get your envelopes decorated up. I have not even looked. We've got this lovely gold, and I was thinking with the smaller house, the blue house, and again with any of these card bases that I have, I could also use the smaller houses from last month's kit. You will get a total of, again, there's 8 houses, 4 of each color. You get the front and back. I have a sneaky trick I want to do with the front and back that I will come back here and share with you. Here is a Mossy Meadow. So I just wanted to show you how nice the house looks. I can see the glitter, and you could use some gold dots. I have the festive pearls. In fact, I left this whole container of festive pearls. Luckily I had a couple, because I then was using them after I had left these in the October kit. So you could use these wonderful gold pearls. These were silver and green, and that's what they look like with I put bronze on them. So you can definitely take the other 2 colors and color them, and then the red you could make darker. I have showing, like a cherry cobbler on here, making this lighter red a darker red should you want it. And and then I was going to show you that we do have pearlized enamel effects basics that makes little enamel type dots that are glued on. This is Stampin' Up's, and they do also have the metallics, silver, gold, and copper, which I do not have, but I do have the charcoal or basic gray, red, and pearl. And then there's, of course, non-Stampin' Up. You can get these. This is from, I believe it's 3D fabric paint, and it is in a glitter. It's called Crystal. So that makes a nice glittery look when it dries. There is, of course, Stickles that comes in all sorts of glistening color with different little accent colors in them. So there should be lots of choices for your glitter to do even more glitter. I wanted to take and show this house with I would be popping up and add some glisteniness to it. So I'm probably going to play with that for some of my cards. And again, I'm going to be using both of these kits for all of my holiday cards. So I've got enough pieces now between the 2 kits to probably make nicely 35 to 45 cards. And that's if I go ahead and add some of my own bases and some of my own envelopes, which I am happy to do. So I am going to go away now and do a mock-up of the snow effect that I want to do for the two houses here that don't have doors. And I'll be back to share that with you, and then I'm going to get to work on the showcase, because I think that's about it, since I'm just bringing back in everything from last month, making this month's kit not take as long. All right, it's officially dark enough. I have to have my light on. I hope it doesn't mess anything up. I know that my camera does much better in the natural light, but it gets dark so early now. I have finished the mock-up of what I wanted to share as a way to overcome the house backs that don't have a door. So what I created is using my Fisker's knife, which I had to replace, by the way, and I just bought the replacement blades off of Amazon. They were pretty inexpensive. You get 3 of them. And I went ahead, I do have some dies. So if you have the snow bank dies, you can use them, but I wanted to try using this knife. And these are some nice shapes. I have yet a 3rd one. It is still drying. So if you wanted to not have a smooth surface, you can emboss first, then cut. If you die cut, you might flatten your embossing treatment a little bit, but it shouldn't flatten it completely. And then you add your glitter glue from last month's kit, or any other glitter if you've already used yours up, or you didn't get the kit. And then I'm still liking the red background from the Berry Christmas. Again, this is a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 size card base. And for color, here's what I did. So we always have the color of the basic white is still a little bit too warm. So I went ahead and used the backs off of the October kit. I'm looking for it to see if there's one that's not cut down. I may have cut them all down. The other possibility is if you wanted to break this up, but but it is a cool white as well. So of course you can always use, if you need to, this is the back that I cut off of one of last month's. Oh, and I have something else to share with you, just as a reminder. Let's get this unstuck. Okay, so the color of the background, here is the front that I cut off, and then see, I had a problem last month. Real red was my nemesis and got on everything. So I've gone ahead and cut this off, and you can see that this is a nice cool white, as well as the inside of this card. They all seem to be about the same level of coolness. So that is a good way to go to use your pieces up from both of the kits together. And then this came out of last month's kit. I haven't used it yet, so I just found it floating around in my pile. So I am going to set it right here up front with my festive pearls. And then I just wanted to reiterate how nice it looks if you're going to want this glimmer. It's a little bit different colored than this month's glimmer, but I think when you mix them all together, it will look just fine. And then again, you could go use your top layer, both layers you could pre-emboss with the snowflake embossing folder. Here is heading the Merry Christmas. And then the house can go up a little bit more. I'm still wanting to have the hint of a door. I just don't want them to really see that this is not a door. And there's still, the house could be really tall. It could be 3 stories. So I'm just hiding the lack of door just enough so maybe people won't notice it. And then here's one of my cute bows with the long tendrils that you can just kind of tuck up in a corner somewhere, and it's totally okay, I think, if it hides a little bit. Don't forget that last month there were these trees. You know, we only have so many of them. There are single trees, there are double trees, so there's a bit of them in different layouts, so you could decide that you want these trees to be up above so that you kind of add more stuff to hide the fact that there is no door on this. Look, I can even pull it up higher so the tendrils come down, and here's some nice trees. And then we have these, either the gold, the red of the two different pearls I have left, or I can use some sequins. And that, I think, now we've got quite a bit of the window, but you be the judge. I'll take a picture of it a couple of different ways for the showcase, so you can gauge if that's something that will work for you. I think for me, this is going to work. We've got the other thing I talked about that I wanted to share, we'll put this off to the side, is there's the strip. This is the bottom of the 3D box, and if you cut it out, I had mentioned that it is a white core, so I did go ahead and emboss with the musical notes, and I wanted to sand it with you so you could see how this would be a great small accent piece. Because these houses, there's the small houses and the big houses, so when you get to the big houses, you can take smaller pieces, emboss them, and then use them. You can rough up the edges. Even this house, I was thinking one other possibility is to rough up all of the edges and then have the snowbanks roughed up, the Merry Christmas roughed up, and the house itself, to just give it a more shabby chic or kind of a country feel, a distressed and aged look. If you really wanted to get fancy, you could go ahead, when you distress and sponge everything, you could add a little bit of brown. The roof of the house is quite white, but you could sponge some color in there and get it a little more grungy looking if you wanted. I may do one or two of those, but I won't do that in the showcase. So the last thing for me is to go ahead and do the showcase. I think that because this is such a similar theme as last month's, I don't think I have to do much more in the way of mixing and matching. You can refer back to last month's for some layouts that I came up with, and then just go through the showcase. And if you do have any questions, if there's any materials, I'm probably not going to need any other materials than what I have shown today, because I have enough of them that, again, I'm going to be powering through the rest of my Christmas cards using both of these kits combined. So I think I'm good. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them on this video. I will have any available supplies that I do have over on my blog as of, I think I checked a couple days ago, for my Winter is Coming Wednesday with these cards. These cards are available. The Memory and More pack, which I have not brought up. Let's see if I even have any of those pieces floating around here right now. I do not. So the Memory and More pack I have been using. I have already did a big episode. I think it was episode 12 last week. So you could also refer to that video to get ideas. And these card bases, I've already made some fun cards with them, not using these two kits. So they're just using some fun other materials. And that will be this coming Wednesday's Winter is Coming Wednesday. So there's going to be a lot of videos that you can watch together to glean ideas that will work for you. I think that's it for me. I will see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.